Welcome back. In this video, I wanted to go over S3 storage classes. As you can see, there are several types of S3 storage classes we can choose from, each with their pros and cons. Each come with different capabilities and storage access. We have already used the S3 standard class in previous lectures, but if we want to save on storage cost, we can optimize our storage needs to use different S3 storage classes. For example, we can move files that are not frequently accessed to a storage class like S3 infrequent access or S3IA. Now, this is important for the exam because we need to understand at a high level how to leverage these different storage classes and when to use them. Now, everything in S3 boils down to two pillars, which is availability and durability. Availability is measured by how readily a storage service is. Basically, it means how available the service is. So if you can't access your data during an AWS outage, this is essentially reducing the availability of the service. And this availability is measured as a percentage out of 100. So S3 has a 99.99% chance of being available when you need it. And the service level agreement, or the SLA, does vary between S3 storage classes. Now, durability measures the likelihood of data loss. With all of this S3 storage classes, you get 99.99999% chance of not losing data, or what AWS calls the 11 nines of durability. What this means is that for 10 million objects you store in S3, you can expect to lose one single object every 10,000 years. That's amazing. Now, here's a table with all the S3 storage classes, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed by the amount of information in this slide. I just want to provide this information so that you understand the different features each storage class offers. We have S3 Standard, S3 Intelligent Tiering, S3 Standard IA or Infrequently Accessed, and S3 One Zone IA, S3 Glacier, and S3 Glacier Deep Archive. Let's start with S3 Standard, which has 99.99% availability. It's used for frequently accessed data, and it provides low latency and high throughput for your data. We can use S3 Standard with applications like big data analytics, content distribution, and to run cloud-native applications. Next, we have S3 Intelligent Tiering, which provides 99.9% availability. It has the same low latency and high throughput as S3 Standard, the difference being that S3 Intelligent Tiering can automatically move objects between two different classes based on access patterns. So the objects that are accessed more frequently will be put into a frequent access storage, and objects that are not frequently stored will be put into the infrequent access storage. This will help reduce your storage cost. Next, we have the S3 Infrequent Access, which is suitable for data that is less frequently accessed. It provides the same low latency and high throughput as S3 Standard. It offers lower cost when compared to S3 Standard, but the difference is you get a per gigabyte retrieval fee because the idea with this S3 class is that you won't be accessing the data stored frequently. We can use S3 Infrequent Access for things like backups and to store data that would be needed for audits because, again, the type of data stored here is less frequently accessed. Next, we have S3 One Zone Infrequent Access. It has the same features as S3 Infrequent Access, but the data is stored in one single availability zone. So this means that AWS does not replicate your data because it is stored in just one availability zone. So the availability is reduced down to 99.5%, but it does provide 20% lower cost when compared to S3 infrequent access. You could use this storage to store redundant backups of on-premise data. And finally, we have S3 Glacier and S3 Glacier Deep Archive. We use these two tiers to archive our data. So basically, these two classes are used for data that you need to retain for a long period of time without usually needing to access it. But when you do access this data, there is a retrieval cost associated with it. For S3 Glacier, we have Expedited, which takes 1 to 5 minutes to retrieve. We have Standard, which takes 3 to 5 hours to retrieve, and we have Bulk, which takes 5 to 12 hours to retrieve. With S3 Glacier Deep Archive, we have Standard, which takes 12 hours, and Bulk, which takes 48 hours. These are the cheapest S3 storage classes, but also the slowest for data retrieval. Now, I just want to mention that you can move objects between the different storage classes. You can use Lifecycle Policies to automatically move objects to a lower cost S3 class based on a time period or lifecycle rule. You don't have to remember all the possible transitions, but just understand the idea that you can transition objects to save on cost. I hope in this video you learned a little more about the S3 classes. I'll see you in the next video.